I don't know what it is.
Well, they used to have those products growing up. I used to hear, always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons to...
Okay, number one, this is the situation. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help, okay? But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller, around Off the Wall Thriller, sometime
And what did you
there.
think? I mean,
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad. Yeah, Wacko Jacko. Where'd that come from? Some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't.
Michael Jackson spent much of his life being interviewed as if he were a mystery that everyone believed they had the right to figure out. But the interesting part is that the tougher the questions became, the less they seemed to affect him. He did not always respond with anger. Sometimes he answered calmly, sometimes with a smile, and sometimes he simply said enough, leaving the interviewer to sit with the silence they had created themselves.
What?
how nervous are you right now?
I'm not nervous at all, actually.
You really aren't?
No, I never get nervous.
You don't?
No.
No, not even for your first interview and it's live around the world? I thought you'd be a little nervous, but that's great, because if you're not nervous, I won't be nervous. I just wanted to let the world know that when we agreed to do this interview, you said that you would be willing to talk to me about everything, and we haven't discussed one single question that's going to be asked here tonight. Just wanted to make that right.
Very true.
That is exactly why the Oprah interview is the best place to start. In 1993, Oprah Winfrey hosted Michael Jackson's first live television interview in 14 years, and from the very first moments, it was clear this would not be a simple, easygoing conversation with a celebrity.
Chat.
Please, it's crazy.
Do you go out? Do you date?
Yes.
Who do you date?
Well, right now it's Brooke Shields. Well, we try not to just be everywhere and go it's mostly at home. She'll come over, I'll go to her house, because I don't like going out in the public.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
With Brooke Shields?
Yes, and another girl.
And another girl?
At one point, she asked the question that people still replay decades later. "Are you a virgin?" Michael answered with complete calm. "I'm a gentleman," he replied, turning a very personal, almost intrusive question into something he could brush aside without losing his composure.
I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a virgin?
How could you ask me that question?
I just want to know. I want to know.
I'm a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman.
So,
I'm a gentleman.
Okay, I would interpret that to mean that means that you believe that a lady is a lady, and therefore...
That's something that's private. I mean, shouldn't be spoken about openly. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but, to me that's very personal.
So you're not going to answer it?
I'm embarrassed.
Oprah later admitted that she even felt embarrassed for asking that question. The entire exchange reveals everything you need to understand about Michael's relationship with the media. He was constantly expected to explain his private life whenever people demanded it, and when the questions went too far, he chose not to give them the dramatic reaction they were hoping for.
Down.
Well, we would like to know whether or not there is a possibility that you are going to marry one day and have children.
I would feel that my life isn't complete if I do not, because I adore the family life. I adore children, and I adore that whole thing. And I would love to. That's one of my dreams, but I couldn't right now because I'm married. I am married, but to my work. I'm married to my music.
That same 1993 interview is also important because it showed exactly how tabloids had begun to shape Michael's public image. By that point, people had become obsessed with his face, his skin, and his body, while often paying very little attention to what he was actually saying.
Then let's go to the thing that is most discussed about you, I think, is the fact that the color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger.
Yes.
And so I think it has caused a great deal of speculation and controversy as to what you have done or are doing. Are you bleaching your skin? And is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
Okay, number one, as I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have never seen it. I don't know what it is.
In his 1988 autobiography, Moonwalk, and again during his 1993 interview with Oprah, Jackson said he had only 2 nose surgeries and a chin cleft implant, while denying the other rumors about cosmetic surgery.
To have those products growing up, I used to hear, always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons to...
Okay, number one, this is the situation. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help, okay? But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller, around Off the Wall Thriller.
And what did you think? I mean,
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad.
How much plastic surgery have you had?
Very, very little. You can count them on 2 fingers. I mean, let's say this. If you want to know about those things, all of the nosy people in the world,
But
read
once
my
we
book.
say it, we don't have to say it anymore.
Read my book, Moonwalker. It's in my book. You know, let's just put it this way. If all the people in Hollywood who have had plastic surgery, if they went on vacation, there wouldn't be a person left in town.
I think you might be right.
I think I am right.
He also explained that the change in his skin color was caused by vitiligo, a condition that was later confirmed by his autopsy. So when people watched Michael sitting across from Oprah, they were not simply watching a celebrity respond to questions. They were watching a man trying to set the record straight about a public story that had already been shaped around him by gossip, rumors, and media spectacle.
I don't want to go into my medical history because that's something that's private, but that's the situation here. So please, when people see something like that...
I just want to get this straight. You are not taking anything to change the color of your skin?
Oh, God, no.
You did not purposely...
We're trying to control it, and using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin, and I have to even out my skin. But you know what's funny? Why is that so important? You know, that's not important to me. I'm a great fan of art. I love Michelangelo. If I had a chance to talk to him or read about him, I would want to know about what inspired him to become who he is, the anatomy of his craftsmanship, not about who he went out with last night or why he decided to sit out in the sun so long. What's wrong with, I mean, that's what's important.
That is one of the main reasons Michael Jackson clips still go viral today. He did not come across as defensive the way many interviewers expected. He sounded calm. He sounded like someone who understood that the public had already formed its opinion, but still wanted to give the truth an opportunity to be heard. And in the Barbara Walters interview from 1997, that same pattern appears once again.
Psychic, is that what you're saying?
I don't want to say that, but I've done it before.
And you thought it might be you?
Yes. I've been living in that kind of life all my life. The tabloid press, that kind of press, not the press, the tabloid, the paparazzi, that type. I've been running for my life like that, hiding, getting away. You can't go that way because they're over there. Well, let's go this way. Pretend we're going that way and we'll go that way. Somebody say, hold on, stop. This person deserves their privacy. You are not allowed to go there.
The interview was filmed in Paris and later broadcast on ABC. By that time, Michael had already spent years facing constant scrutiny from the press over his appearance, his private life, and his personal habits. Reports from that time make it clear that Walters asked about the paparazzi and his personal life, while the wider media coverage during that period showed that many people were still heavily focused on his appearance.
You should not do. You should not say he's an animal. Should not say he's Jacko. I'm not a Jacko. I'm Jackson.
How do you feel when they call you Wacko
Yeah, Wacko
Jacko?
Jacko. Where'd that come from? Some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't do it. I'm not a wacko.
There are those who would say that you add to the attention.
No, I don't.
Well, the masks, the mysterious behavior.
There's no mysterious behavior. There's a time when I give a concert, I like to have as many people want to come can come and enjoy the show. And there's a time where you like to be in private when you put on your pajamas, go to sleep, cut off the light, ding, and lay down. That's your private space. If you go in the park, I can't go in the park though. So I create my own park at Neverland, my own water space, my movie theater, my theme park. That's all for me to enjoy.
This was another moment when the interviewer tried to reach the private side of Michael, and Michael responded by remaining calm, composed, and almost unbelievably polite. That self-control is exactly what made the moment so effective. He never gave them the emotional outbursts they were hoping to turn into a headline.
I don't want this to sound insulting. I'm just going to be straight with you. But you are somewhat eccentric, to say the least. The way you dress, the way you look, it invites attention. More extreme. You don't think that calls the paparazzi to you?
No.
No?
No. Maybe I like to live that way. Maybe I like to dress that way. I don't want paparazzi, really. But if they come, be kind. Write the right kind thing to write.
Michael, is it the journalist's role or the press's role to be kind?
To be kind?
Because the press also sometimes has to look into things, be tough. You can't always be kind.
What you saw it happen to Lady Diana, you tell me. There should be some boundaries, some kind of way. The star needs some space. Give him a chance to relax. He has a heart. He's human.
By the mid-1990s, the tone of these interviews had become even more intense because the questions were no longer only about fame. They had shifted towards scrutiny, scandal, and suspicion. That is what makes the 1995 Primetime Live interview with Diane Sawyer and Lisa Marie Presley so compelling.
Who proposed? I mean, how did marriage actually get discussed?
Well, at first, this is what happened. When she was 18, I used to tell my lawyer, John Branca, do you know Lisa Marie Presley? He'd go, well, I represent her mother. I go, well, can you get in touch with her? Because I think she's really cute. And he'd laugh every time. He goes, I'll do my best. That's what he'd say. Then he'd come back. I said, well, did you find out? He said, no, there's nothing. So I would worry him about this all the time. The next thing I noticed, there's a picture on a magazine cover where she's married, which really tore me to pieces.
Vanity Fair later reported that around 60 million people watched the interview, and because it was Jackson's first major interview after the 1993 allegations, it felt less like a conversation and more like a public trial in front of millions of viewers. The interview was heavily promoted as no holds barred, which clearly reflected the mood at the time. Jackson and Lisa Marie were not simply discussing their marriage. They were speaking in the middle of an atmosphere filled with skepticism, tabloid attention, and intense media interest.
Ask Michael about the charges. Did the two of you talk about the impact of the marriage on the allegations?
Absolutely not. He called, I was in touch with him through the whole process of this charges going on. I was talking to him when he disappeared. I was actually supposed to go to San Juan, Puerto Rico when he left and disappeared, and I got a call that he wasn't going to be there, and I was actually part of the whole thing with him, but talking to him on the phone. So I didn't...
Did you say to him, are they true?
No, I didn't. No, I actually did not.
I want to take a minute here, and I'm going to come back to the marriage.
Sorry. He went on and on and on about it, so I didn't really have to say, are the allegations true? It was, on the phone, and
over and over
just
again.
Constant.
When Sawyer continued to press them with questions, the surprising part was that Michael never appeared shaken the way many people expected based on the media coverage around him. He remained calm and in control. Lisa Marie appeared protective, and the entire exchange became an example of how to face an intense public spotlight without allowing it to overwhelm you.
I'm going to begin by making sure that the terms are clear. You have said that you would never harm a child. I want to be specific as I can. Did you ever, as this young boy said you did you ever sexually engage, fondle, have sexual contact with this child or any other child?
Never, ever. I could never harm a child or anyone. It's not in my heart. It's not who I am. And it's not what I'm not even interested in that.
And what do you think should be done to someone who does that?
To someone who does that, what I think it should be done, gee, I think they need help in some kind of way, you know?
How about the police photographs, though? How was there enough information from this boy about those kinds of things?
The police photographs,
Have police
that they
photographs.
took of me.
Yes.
There was nothing that matched me to those charges.
There was nothing. There was nothing that concurred.
That's why I'm
Nothing?
sitting here
There was
talking to you
nothing.
today. There was not one iota of information that was found that could connect me.
So when we've heard
these
that there was
charges.
a
There were
marking
nothing.
of some kind,
No markings.
That interview is also one of the clearest examples of how people tried to turn Michael's private life into entertainment. The press wanted to know whether the relationship was real, whether it was planned, whether it was unusual, whether it was just for show, if it was all a publicity stunt. But the more the interviewers focused on that idea, the more Michael and Lisa Marie appeared determined to stand by their own account of what happened.
why
whole
did you
thing is a
settle the
lie.
case then? Why did you settle the case? And it looks to everyone as if you paid a huge amount of money.
Most of that's
To get
folklore.
silence.
I talked to my lawyers and I said, can you guarantee me that justice will prevail? And they said, Michael, we cannot guarantee you that a judge or a jury will do anything. And with that, I was like catatonic. I was outraged.
How much money
Totally
was it?
outraged. So what I said, I have got to do something to get out from under this nightmare. All these lies and all these people coming forward to get paid in these tabloid shows, just lies, 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 lies. So what I did, we got together again with my advisors and they advised me, it was hands down, a unanimous decision, resolve the case. This could be something that could go on for 7 years.
How much
We
money
said,
was
let's get
it?
it behind us.
Then there is the 60 Minutes interview, which may be the most uncomfortable of them all. During his interview with Ed Bradley, Michael Jackson responded to the controversial topic of sharing his bed with young ones. By then, the issue had become one of the most heavily debated parts of his public image, and Bradley did not approach the conversation as if it were a simple request for clarification.
Called everyone we can call. We have checked everything we can check. We have gone and tried to see if what we heard before is in fact the case. I want to ask you about two things. These reports that we read over and over again, that in your rooms they found photographs of young boys, not of
Young
adults,
boys,
not-
there's children, all kind of girls and everything.
then that they found photographs, books of young boys who were undressed.
No.
Didn't happen.
No, not that I know of, unless people sent me things that I haven't opened. People know my love for children. So they send me books from all over the world, from South America, from Germany, from Italy, from Sweden.
So if people
I have-
say that they found those things, if there's an indication, let them come forward, let them produce them, right?
Yeah, because I get all you wouldn't believe the amounts of mail that I get. And if you say to somebody, you know, if I let the fans know I love Charlie Chaplin, I'll be swarmed in Charlie Chaplin paraphernalia.
One other
But if I say I love children, which I do, they swarm me with everything.
The tone was serious because the situation was serious, and that is exactly why Michael's calm manner became part of what people noticed most. The more forcefully the subject was presented, the more carefully he chose his words. He did not come across as someone trying to win a debate. He came across as someone who understood that the debate itself had already become the story.
It's part of that conversation.
What is your response to the allegations that were brought by the district attorney in Santa Barbara that you molested this boy?
Totally false. Before I would hurt a child, I would slit my wrists. I would never hurt a child. These are totally false. I was outraged. I could never do something like that.
This is a kid you knew.
Yes.
How would you characterize your relationship with this boy?
I've helped many, many, many children, thousands of children. Cancer kids, leukemia kids. This is one of many.
That British documentary last February, which you didn't like,
Yeah, I didn't like it.
You said in that documentary that many children have slept in your bedroom. You said,
Yes.
and I'm going to quote here, "Why can't you share your bed? The most loving thing to do is to share your bed with someone."
Yes.
As we sit here today, do you still think that it's acceptable to share your bed with children?
Of course.
If you want one of the clearest examples of Michael pushing back against media pressure, it is probably the 2003 Martin Bashir interview. Living with Michael Jackson was a documentary that followed Bashir as he spent time with Michael throughout his daily life, but Jackson later said he felt betrayed by the way the program portrayed him and presented his actions as a father.
Of course, why not? If you're going to be a pedophile, if you're going to be Jack the Ripper, if you're going to be a murderer, it's not a good idea. That I'm not. That's how we were raised. And I didn't sleep in the bed with the child. Even if I did, it's okay. I slept on the floor. I gave the bed to...
By 1987, during the Ebony Jet interview, he was already presenting himself like someone who understood exactly how the world wanted to define him. These early interviews are important because they show that Michael's calm public presence did not begin with the scandals. It had been there from the very start. He realized early on that if he showed the media too much emotion, they would turn it into a story about him instead of focusing on what he was trying to say. So he became more careful. He became more intentional. He became someone who could sit in front of a camera and still seem completely untouchable.
You know, you physically changed, haven't you? The photographs of you, if I look at them
No, it's
from...
called adolescence. It's called growing and changing.
Yeah, but even the shape of your face has changed.
No, it has not. I've had no plastic surgery on my face, just my nose. It helped me breathe better so I can hit higher notes and have clear. The press is like to add on all this stuff. Nothing's been done to my eyes, cheekbones, chins, lips, nothing. They made it all up.
Do you think that people do go too far with plastic surgery, generally? Do you think
Well,
it's
up to
become...
them.
So why are you so defensive when people say, Mick Jagger's had one, Paul McCartney may have had one, oh, Michael Jackson's had one?
They don't do it that way.
What do they do?
They just pick on me like I'm the only one that does it. That's why.
A lot has been required of you. Do you sometimes regret being so utterly famous?
No, sometime, only sometime. Sometimes I want to sneak into places and not have any hoopla or, you know, and it doesn't work all the time because people start and they crowd around, and which is sweet. I mean, I shouldn't complain, but
No, but you have a right to complain because everybody has the right to go out there and to just be alone. But it seems like that right isn't really given to you.
it was part of the work, I would say.
And that is the true power of these moments. They are not about Michael Jackson raising his voice the loudest or defeating people in the most obvious way. They are about him refusing to give up his dignity when the questions became difficult and deeply personal. They reveal a side of him that was often much more thoughtful than the interviewers expected, because he understood something they didn't. The more extreme the question became, the more important it was not to respond the way it was designed to provoke. If you enjoyed this look back at Michael's most memorable moments, please hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which interview you believe he handled the best.